Hi there, my name is Callie Gardner. This is my Yellowdig submission for my project proposal for Module 2. I apologize for the late submission and for my voice. I am getting over being pretty sick. So to start off, me being an advocate, I feel that by using my personal advocacy survey and the characteristics that I fit, I find myself to be an advocate who is a great listener and passionate about what I advocate for. I can communicate points, ideas, or importance of things when speaking about advocacy areas that I'm interested in. For example, an advocacy area that I'm extremely interested in is food insecurity. I have been interested in this for almost 2 years now. I came from a place where I was pretty food insecure as a college student and really struggling to make ends meet with a dual person household that only had one income. We had food. It was just a matter of, are we going to be able to get more? An opportunity that I had in one of my last courses was being able to create a partnership. And the partnership that I created was between Starbucks and Arizona State University's Pitchfork Pantry. These two organizations have partnered in the past and are continuing to be partnered through St. Vincent de Paul's Food Bank. Starbucks provides donations of food past its best by date, so it's not able to be sold, but it is able to be donated. I decided to do a food drive to collect non-perishables for college students specifically, and this didn't have to be just food. We also had the opportunity to gather feminine hygiene products, as well as other things as well. Um, the turnout rate was not great. It happened to fall right around one store having a remodel in my area, as well as a launch week when we were going to be launching a new flavor at Starbucks. So it was just a really, really crazy time. If I were to do it over, I would definitely watch the calendar before I would do something. My depiction of being an advocate, I wanted to take a different route other than just doing a drawing. I wanted to use some gifts to represent me as an advocate in my chosen area of advocacy being food insecurity. I chose this full cart of groceries. Now, I don't know if these groceries are going home to someone or going home to many or going home to a food bank or donation, but I would want this cart to go towards people that would need that food and not just a home to restock, if that makes sense. I want to fill that cart for somebody, essentially. The other gift is also giving food to people in a cafeteria-like setting. It's very similar to a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner that is spread by a lot of food banks that do it in the area. I know for sure St. Mary's Food Bank does a meal for Christmas where any and all people are welcome. And the top one is a TV show where a NYPD officer is sharing food with a homeless man. Which I don't know if that NYPD officer in the show knew or not, but she alleviated the food insecurity for that homeless man for that little time being. My chosen advocacy area was food insecurity in Arizona. So, a good summary being, according to ASU News, almost 1 in 3, or 32% of Arizona households experience food insecurity since COVID-19, which is a 28% increase from the year prior to the pandemic, when the food insecurity rate was 25%. This is significant because access to food became more scarce after a pandemic that caused so much harm in retrospect already. This is an issue because there has been little to no increase in support from governmental assistance. There's only so much to go around from food help, such as churches, food banks, and corporations and donations as well. Food pantries have low pantries at times as well. The reason that this advocacy example is so important is because it can be a simple fix. As spoken in the reading, advocacy practice for social justice, the opposite of being educated is being ignorant. So some people may say that this can be considered a share the wealth situation, and in a way it can be. However, given that Arizona households waste $945 of food annually, or in other words, almost a quarter or 23% of their food each month, this is unlikely. It's likely that we're getting food that we need and throwing away the overage of that instead of donating it, because there's a difference between an expired and being best buy. Another advocacy area that I did not end up going with was mental health in college students. Mental health in teenagers is a topic I hear from a lot, but mostly that's because I work with teenagers or young adults. I find the category of mental health in college students just as intriguing because I am one. With this, I'm also a college student who struggles with their mental health due to educational workload, in addition to having to work a full-time job. There is no other option for me. I have to work a full-time job and I have to do full-time school. As explained in our reading, having an interest in the topic seems to instill potential advocates with an irresistible urge to get going and make a difference right now. I know I want to make a difference in mental health right now. I have a cousin who is not, she's of college age, but she's not in college. And she's struggling extremely hard with mental health and taking on a lot of weight from a friend of hers that is also struggling instead of getting her friend help. By having this personal connection to mental health, it pushes me to want to make changes in my community and age group right this second and improve their lives. Mental health is important to the function and information processes of any stage of development or stages of life, whether it be in the early childhood stage or late adulthood stage, or anything in between. Some possible organizations that I thought of working with was, again, the Pitchfork Pantry at Arizona State University, and expanding upon my last project, using St. Vincent de Paul's Food Bank as another area of donation, St. Mary's Food Bank, or Feed My Starving Children organization. These 4 organizations can be a good starting point for partnerships that could support the advocacy for food insecurity in my community. The reason for this is because they all not only correlate with my chosen area of advocacy, but they are already in the same category of advocacy, meaning that they too are already advocating for food security by distributing food to lesser fortunate families as well as individuals. I have currently worked with the Pitchfork Pantry, as I mentioned before, as well as Starbucks Coffee Company in order to gather donations previously. So these are 2 organizations that I may be more comfortable with working with, but it might be good to also step out of the box and talk to other organizations. Some resources, resources in general are what I believe to be the biggest opponent to this advocacy area. The reason is because not everybody is made of money or made of resources in that sense. Not everybody can share their money if they even do have the money. I know that at times I have money, but I cannot share that money. That money goes towards the next month because I know I may not make the same amount that I did this month. In addition to this, food is never in abundant supply. We never just have food to have food to have food. We're always going to run out of things. Leading into that, farmers make less than 2% of the American population and is thus responsible for feeding the rest of the 98% of the country. And that is just assuming that 98% of the people are able to afford food and access it. Some outcomes and expectations. By partnering with organizations that already have a bigger voice in the community in terms of food insecurity, I'm able to further spread awareness, importance, and necessity of support. By understanding severity of food insecurity, I can educate not only those involved in potential working organizations, but also with my peers and personal connections to the community. Some targets: providing attainable goals that can be completed in a timely manner will give opportunity for results. The steps taken will be as follows, and in accordance to the stages of the advocacy cycles that we're learning about in class. Establishing contact with potential organizations, deciding which among the interested organizations is best suited to partner with based upon scheduling, responses, or even just availability to accept donations or volunteer work. Create a plan for food insecurity awareness and have a more widespread plan of identifying areas of food insecurity in my local areas and create a way to cater or support these areas. Execute a plan and then distribute either food or education, whichever comes first or last. Thank you so much for participating in this week's Yellowdig. I hope you guys took something away from my presentation. Feedback is always welcome, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.